50 lost civilizations, 50 worlds erased by time. Each one built wonders and vanished. But tonight, their secrets rise again, and you will see the mysteries science cannot explain. Asterisk civilizations, greater than we can imagine, rising from the earth, building wonders beyond belief, and then vanishing without a trace. Stone cities swallowed by the ocean, temples hidden in jungles, ruins carved with secrets no one can read. For centuries, scientists have searched for answers, but the truth still hides, buried deep in time. What if the world we know today is only a shadow of something much older, something far more powerful, and something we were never meant to discover? Asterisk, welcome to Historia Unseen. I am John, the voiceover artist for this channel, and together, we begin our journey into the 50 lost civilizations science still cannot explain. This is part 1. The birth of a nation. It begins with silence. The ruins lie in the dust. Broken stones covered with moss. Silent witnesses to a people who once called this place home. Every civilization begins with a spark. A river that gives water. A mountain that protects. A land that promises life. But history shows us, for every nation that was born, one day it was lost. Thousands of years ago, in the valley of the Indus, a great people built a city beyond its time. They designed streets in perfect lines. They made drains to carry waste. They built houses with baths and wells. While much of the world lived in caves, they created order. The Indus Valley Civilization, one of the first great nations of the world. But who were they? And where did they go? Archaeologists dig through the ruins of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. They find toys, beads, tools, objects that whisper of daily life. Children who laughed, traders who worked, priests who prayed. It was not just a village, it was a system, a nation. Yet something happened. The city fell silent. The streets grew empty. And the people disappeared. Was it war? Did enemies strike from the west? Or was it nature, the rivers shifting, the land drying, the crops failing? Science has no final answer. But the mystery deepens because these people left no kings, no palaces, no armies carved in stone. Only walls, only bricks, only silence. Some believe they were peaceful, a society without rulers, where trade and religion held power. Others believe they were guided by something even greater, knowledge we have lost. This was the birth of a nation and the death of one. Yet their legacy lived on, carried through time, influencing cultures far beyond their valley. But they were not alone. Across deserts, in the far sands of Africa, another spark lit. A gathering of tribes near Nabta Playa. Here, thousands of years before the pyramids, stones were raised in circles. Not for homes, not for walls, but for the stars. They tracked the sun, the solstice, the rains that would come. These were not simple shepherds, they were astronomers. How did they know the skies so well? How could they measure the heavens without tools of science? No one can answer, yet their stones still stand. The birth of nations always carried mystery, because from nothing came something, and from simple lives came greatness. But greatness never lasts. The Indus vanished. Nabta Playa vanished, leaving only ruins, only puzzles, only questions whispered by the wind. And so the story continues. From the ashes of the first nations came others, nations that would rise to build pyramids, to carve gods in stone, to leave their mark upon the earth. But no matter how great they became, one day, each would fall. Because history is not just the story of what we remember. It is the story of what we lost. And so, in this journey of 50 lost civilizations, we begin with birth. The birth of nations that rose in silence, spoke to the stars, and disappeared without goodbye. Their ruins are not just stones. They are messages, waiting for us to hear. Some say these civilizations fell because of nature. Others say because of human pride. But perhaps the truth is far stranger. Perhaps they knew something we have forgotten. Civilizations that may have walked closer to secrets of the universe. Secrets buried in the dust. Secrets still waiting to be found. It begins with water, the sea endless and eternal. But hidden beneath its waves lie stories of entire civilizations swallowed whole. When nations vanish, their ruins may remain on land, but when the ocean claims them, only silence and mystery survive. For thousands of years, people have told the story of Atlantis, a great island nation, powerful and advanced, a place where knowledge and beauty thrived. Plato, the Greek philosopher, wrote of it more than 2,000 years ago. He described temples plated with gold, gardens larger than cities, armies that ruled the seas. But then in a single night the ocean rose. The wave swallowed Atlantis, and it was gone. Was it only a story? A warning about human pride? Or was Plato telling the memory of a real place, one that now sleeps beneath the sea? Explorers have searched for Atlantis for centuries. Some point to the Mediterranean, others to the Caribbean, some even to Antarctica. But no one has ever found proof. And yet, Atlantis is not alone. Around the world, the sea has kept other secrets. Off the coast of Japan, divers discovered something strange beneath the waves of Yonaguni. Massive stone steps, platforms, walls, shaped too perfectly to be nature alone. Some say it is the remains of an ancient city, a place far older than any history book allows. But scientists argue. They say it is only rocks shaped by the ocean. Still, when divers swim through its sharp angles, when they glide past what looks like streets and stairs, they cannot escape the feeling that humans once walked here. In India, there's a story of a golden city called Dwarka, built by Lord Krishna. For centuries, it was thought to be only legend. But off the coast of Gujarat, divers found ruins beneath the sea. Walls, pillars, streets, all hidden by sand and water. Could this be Dwarka? Could the stories be true? Or is it only another city lost to rising tides? Across the world in the Caribbean, strange structures rest below the waves near Cuba. Sonar scans reveal shapes like pyramids and roads. But the depths are so great, few have seen them with their own eyes. Are they the remains of a forgotten nation, or tricks of the deep? The ocean hides more than it reveals. For every ruin found there are countless more buried by time, storms, and shifting seas. What makes these stories powerful is not only what was lost, but how sudden the loss must have been. Entire nations swallowed without warning. People who once walked streets and prayed in temples erased in a single wave. What force could destroy so much so quickly? Was it nature, a great flood, or something more? In almost every culture, from Mesopotamia to Mesoamerica, there are myths of floods. Stories of waters rising, gods punishing, the world being washed clean. Could all these stories point to a memory of real events long before recorded history? The sea does not give up its secrets easily, but every ruin discovered beneath its waves whispers the same message, that we are not the first, that before our time, others built, others dreamed, and others fell. The sunken worlds remind us of something uncomfortable. Civilizations are fragile. No matter how great they seem, no matter how advanced, nature can take it all away in hours. And yet, the mystery lingers. Some ruins under the sea seem far too advanced. Stones too precise, knowledge too deep. Did these civilizations know something we have forgotten? Did they hold secrets we cannot understand? Atlantis, Yonaguni, Dwarka, Pompeii beneath the waves. Each story connects, each ruin calls out, inviting us to imagine a past that was greater, stranger, and far more mysterious than we dare believe. And so, Part 2 ends where the ocean begins, with nations swallowed by waves, with civilizations erased, but not forgotten. The water still whispers their names, and perhaps somewhere beneath the dark sea, the truth still waits to be discovered. They say giants are only myths, stories told to children, legends carved in stone. But when we look at the ruins of certain civilizations, the stones themselves whisper a different truth. Massive blocks, so heavy that even modern machines would struggle to move them. Walls built with such precision that not even a blade of grass can slip between the cracks. Who built these wonders? And how? In the mountains of Lebanon lies the ancient city of Baalbek. There stands a platform of stone blocks so huge, some weigh more than 1,000 tons. Each block is larger than a house, each one cut with perfect angles. The Romans built temples here, but even they admitted the giant foundation was older, far older. Archaeologists look at the stones and ask the same question. How did humans, thousands of years ago, move something so large, without cranes, without engines, without steel? No one has an answer. Some believe these were the works of gods. Others whisper of giants, a race of people so strong, they could lift what no man today could carry. Far away in South America lies Pumapunku, part of the Tiwanaku civilization in Bolivia. Here, massive stone blocks lie scattered across the high plateau. But what makes them strange are the cuts. Perfect, sharp angles, as if shaped by machines. Stones locked together like puzzles, so precise they seem designed by engineers, not simple stonemasons. The people of Tiwanaku left no written language, no record of how these stones were carved. Only the ruins remain, silent, mysterious. And then there are the heads of Easter Island. Huge statues, called moai, carved from stone and raised across the island. For centuries, people thought they were only heads. But when excavations began, it was discovered they have entire bodies, buried deep in the ground. Some of them stand more than 30 feet tall, weighing over 80 tons. Why were they built? How were they moved? The islanders used ropes and logs, they say. But even scientists struggle to explain how such massive figures were carried across long distances. Legends from the island tell of powerful beings who helped lift the stones, giants, or perhaps something even stranger. Again and again, across the world, we find the same mystery. Huge stones, cut with impossible skill, carried with impossible strength, raised with impossible effort. Were ancient civilizations more advanced than we think? Did they have knowledge now lost to time? Or, as some myths say, did giants truly walk among them? In the Bible, in Sumerian tablets, in Native American stories, there are whispers of giants. Mighty beings who lived before the Great Flood, who built cities and taught humans secrets. When the flood came, they were destroyed. But maybe their works still remain. Civilizations of giants. Whether giants of size or giants of knowledge, they left their mark on the earth in ways we cannot ignore. Baalbek, Pumapunku, Easter Island. These are not only ruins. They are questions carved in stone. When we stand before them, we feel small. Not just in body but in time. Because whoever built them, whoever raised those stones, did so with power we cannot explain. Science tries to answer with theories. Ropes, pulleys, manpower, slow effort over many years. But the more we study, the more the mystery grows. Why do so many cultures speak of beings larger than life? Why do their ruins reflect strength and skill beyond imagination? And why do we refuse to believe what the stones are showing us? Perhaps these civilizations were not of giants in body, but giants in knowledge. Perhaps they understood secrets of gravity, balance, or energy that we no longer know. Secrets erased by time or hidden on purpose. Civilizations rise and fall, but the works of giants remain. Silent, powerful, eternal. As the sun sets over Baalbek, as the winds cut across Pumapunku, as the waves crash against Easter Island, the stones still stand. They wait, and they challenge us to ask again, who built them, and where did their knowledge go? Because if giants once walked the earth, their shadows still remain, carved in stone, and their secrets may still shape the world we live in today. Across the world, separated by oceans, separated by continents, one shape rises again and again. The pyramid, from the sands of Egypt to the jungles of Mexico, from the deserts of Sudan to the mountains of China. Civilizations who never met, never spoke, never traded, built the same shape. Why? The pyramids of Egypt stand as the most famous. The Great Pyramid of Giza, built more than 4,000 years ago, made of millions of stone blocks, each weighing tons, lifted with perfect alignment. The sides almost perfectly face north, south, east, and west. Even today, scientists debate how it was done. Were ramps used? Thousands of workers dragging stones across the desert? Or did the builders know something, a secret of balance and weight, lost to us today? But Egypt was not alone. Far to the south, in the land of Nubia, the ancient kingdom of Kush built pyramids too. Dozens of smaller, sharper pyramids rise from the desert sands of Sudan. These pyramids were tombs for kings and queens, echoes of the Egyptian style, yet with their own mystery. And across the ocean, In the jungles of Central America, the Maya and the Aztec built step pyramids. Not tombs, but temples. Places where gods were worshipped, and sometimes where blood was spilled. The Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan, so massive it dwarfs nearby structures. The Temple of Kukulkan in Chichen Itza, designed so that on the equinox the sun casts a shadow that looks like a serpent sliding down its steps. How did they master such precision? How did they design such wonders without metal tools or modern math? And then in China, covered by soil and hidden by trees, lie pyramids too. Not as tall as Egypt's, but vast, stretching across the landscape. Some say they hold emperors of forgotten dynasties. Others whisper they hide secrets older than recorded Chinese history. Why do pyramids appear everywhere? Was it chance? Did different people simply find the same shape useful? Or was there a connection? A shared memory of a knowledge passed down long before nations were born? The pyramid is more than a shape. It is stable. It reaches upward, as if touching the sky. It points toward the heavens, like a bridge between earth and something beyond. In Egypt, pyramids were tombs for pharaohs. In Mesoamerica, they were temples for gods. In other lands, their purpose remains unknown. But everywhere, they carry the same silence. A silence that asks, why did they all choose this form? Some theories suggest ancient civilizations learned from one another, but thousands of miles of ocean separated them. No ships, no records, no signs of contact. Still, the same shape rises from their lands. Others suggest something more, that humanity, wherever it was, carried a memory of a time before, when knowledge was greater, when the pyramid was more than stone. Maybe it was energy. Maybe it was power. Maybe it was something we no longer understand. When we stand at the base of these giants, we feel the silence. The stones speak no words, but they hold secrets. Secrets of alignment with the stars. Secrets of math and design beyond their time. Secrets that even now, we struggle to solve. And what is most unsettling is that these civilizations, for all their greatness, fell. The pyramids remain, but the people are gone. The voices lost, the builders forgotten. Only the shape survives. The silent pyramids. From Egypt's desert sands, to Mexico's jungles, to China's hills. They stand across the earth like markers. Reminders that once, long ago, people reached upward to the sky. But why? To honor gods? To bury kings? Or to leave behind a message, a code carved in stone, waiting for us to see? Perhaps the pyramids were more than tombs and temples. Perhaps they were keys. Keys to knowledge, to power, to mysteries we are still too young to understand. The world is full of ruins, but the pyramids remain. Silent, unbroken, eternal. And as the sun sets behind their sharp angles, one question echoes in the silence. Did humans truly build them alone? Or was someone, or something, guiding their hands? The jungle hides everything. It swallows stone. It buries roads. It covers the past in silence. But deep beneath the vines and roots lie the remains of civilizations that once ruled and then vanished. In the heart of Central America, the Maya built great cities. Palenque, Tikal, Chichen Itza. Stone pyramids rose above the trees, temples carved with gods and warriors. They mastered astronomy. They created calendars more accurate than the ones we use today. They wrote in symbols, painted stories of kings and battles. For centuries, they flourished. And then they were gone. Their cities abandoned, swallowed by the forest. The temples stood, but the voices fell silent. Why did the Maya vanish? Some believe drought struck their lands, the rains failed, the crops died. Others believe war tore their people apart, city against city, blood spilling until nothing was left. Still others whisper they knew something was coming, something we cannot explain, and they walked away. Archaeologists dig through their ruins. They find ball courts, palaces, tombs. They find carvings of gods with serpent heads and jaguar eyes. They find mysteries, but no final answer. The Maya were not alone. Long before them, another people walked the jungles of Mesoamerica. The Olmec. They carved giant heads of stone, faces that stare with deep, haunting eyes. Each head weighs many tons, carved with such detail that even the lines of lips and helmets remain. Who were these people? Why did they vanish? And why do their faces look so human, yet somehow not? Legends say the Olmec were the mother culture of Central America, the seed from which later civilizations grew. But their own story is gone erased, leaving only stone heads in the jungle. And then on the other side of the world, in Southeast Asia, another jungle city rose. Angkor Wat. The Khmer Empire built the largest religious monument in history. Temples stretching for miles, decorated with carvings of gods, demons, and dancers. At its peak, Angkor was home to nearly 1 million people. It was a nation of kings and builders, the jewel of Asia. But then the jungle claimed it. The people disappeared, the temples fell quiet. No one knows why. Some blame drought, some blame war, some whisper of curses. But the truth is lost. The jungle does not care. It grows over walls that break stone with roots. It buries everything in green silence. What is most strange is that these civilizations all share one thing. They rose in greatness, they built wonders, and then they fell, leaving no clear reason. Why does history repeat this pattern? Why do great nations collapse in the same mysterious silence? Is it nature? Is it human pride? Or is there something larger at work, something unseen, that decides when a civilization must end? The jungle civilizations remind us of time's power. A city may rise with kings and temples, but one day the forest will reclaim it. Yet, even in silence, their ruins still speak. The Maya calendars hint at cycles of the universe. The Olmec heads whisper of giants or strangers. Angkor Wat points to the heavens with impossible beauty. Civilizations vanished, but not forgotten. They live in ruins, in myths, in questions science still cannot answer. Perhaps they left on purpose. Perhaps they hid knowledge we are not meant to find. Or perhaps the jungle simply took back what was always hers. The forest is alive. It breathes, it grows, it swallows. And in its heart, it keeps the secrets of vanished civilizations. When explorers first hacked through the vines and saw the temples rising through the trees, they could not believe what they found. Cities as large as any in Europe, hidden for centuries. It makes us wonder, how many more are still waiting beneath the green, vanished in the jungle? These civilizations are warnings. No matter how great, no matter how advanced, nature waits, time waits, and in the end even kings and empires fall to silence. The jungle whispers, and if we listen closely, we may hear the voices of those who walked there long ago. But the full truth may never be ours. Some cities fall to time, some to war, but others fall in ways so sudden, so strange, that people whisper of curses. There are places in the world where life ended in an instant, where streets once full of voices were frozen in silence forever. These are the cursed cities. Pompeii, a city full of music, trade, and pleasure, lying in the shadow of Mount Vesuvius. The people lived their daily lives, walking markets, watching gladiators, feasting in villas. But on a single day in the year 79 AD, fire rained from the sky. The volcano erupted with fury. Ash and smoke buried the city in hours. Thousands died where they stood, some covering their faces, some holding loved ones. Centuries later, when the city was uncovered, bodies lay preserved in ash, frozen in their final moments. It was as if time had stopped. Visitors still walk those streets today and feel the weight of silence. Pompeii is more than ruins, it is a warning. But Pompeii is not alone. In North America, there once rose a city greater than London, Cahokia. It stood near the Mississippi River, with massive earth pyramids, wide plazas, and tens of thousands of people. It was the largest city north of Mexico, a place of culture, religion, and power. And yet it vanished. By the 14th century, the city was empty, the people gone. No one knows why. Some believe war or famine destroyed them. Others say disease. But local legends speak of curses, spirits that punished the city for pride and bloodshed. Even today, the mounds of Cahokia stand in silence, keeping their secrets. And then, there's Great Zimbabwe. In the heart of Africa, walls of stone rise in strange circles. Built without mortar, the stones locked together with skill and strength. This city was once the center of a kingdom, a place of trade and wealth. Gold, ivory, and treasures passed through its walls. But the people left the city abandoned. Why? Historians debate, but local traditions whisper the city fell because it challenged the gods. It reached too far and was struck down. Across the world, ruins tell the same story. Cities that rose to greatness, only to fall in ways too sudden, too strange, to be explained. Was it nature? Volcanoes, droughts, earthquakes? Was it humanity? War, greed, betrayal? Or was it something darker, something unseen, something like a curse? The ancients believed cities could anger the gods. They believed greed could bring punishment. They believed a single sin could call down disaster. And sometimes, when we look at these ruins, it feels as if they were right. Because what are curses but stories of balance? Stories that remind us nothing lasts forever. Pompeii's people laughed, feasted, and fell in a single night. Cahokia's kings ruled a mighty land, then vanished, leaving only grass-covered mounds. Great Zimbabwe's stone walls rose to the skies, then fell into silence. Cursed cities, not cursed by magic alone, but by time, by pride, by mystery. Cities that remind us that power can vanish in an instant, and greatness can turn to dust. When we walk their ruins today, we feel the weight of their silence. We feel the stories carved in every stone, the fear in every whisper. And we ask the same questions. Why here? Why then? Why so sudden? Perhaps the answers are hidden forever. Or perhaps one day we will uncover the truth behind these curses. But until then, these cities remain as shadows. Pompeii, Cahokia, Great Zimbabwe, places where greatness once lived and where silence rules now. The cursed cities remind us that history is not safe, that even the strongest walls can fall, and that the mysteries of the past still wait for us in the ruins. There are ruins that whisper. There are stones that tell stories. And then there's a place that shouts across time. In the rolling hills of Turkey, buried beneath the earth, lies Göbekli Tepe. At first, it looked like nothing more than a mound of dirt. But when archaeologists began to dig, they uncovered something that would change history forever. Massive stone pillars, carved with animals, gods, and symbols. Some weigh more than 15 tons, arranged in circles, like temples. But here is the mystery. Göbekli Tepe is over 11,000 years old. Older than Stonehenge. Older than the pyramids. Older than every great civilization we thought came first. Who built this place? How could hunter-gatherers, people with no cities, no writing, no wheels, raise such massive stones? And why, after building it, did they bury it under the earth themselves? Some say it was a temple, a place of gods. Others believe it was an ancient school where knowledge was passed down. But the truth is stranger still, because Göbekli Tepe should not exist. According to history books, it is impossible. And yet there it stands. Was this the true beginning of civilization? Or was it the last memory of a civilization even older, one erased by time? Across the world, ruins echo the same mystery. Pyramids pointing to the stars. Stone circles measuring the sun. Cities lost to floods and jungles. And temples older than time itself. The pattern is clear. Civilizations rise, they create wonders, and then they vanish. Again and again, as if following a cycle. But why? Perhaps history is not a straight line, but a circle. Perhaps great nations have risen before, long before we remember. And each time they fall. By war, by nature, or by forces we cannot see. Göbekli Tepe stands as proof that we are not the first. Its stones shout across time, telling us that something came before, something greater, something lost. And if they could build this, if they could carve and raise such massive pillars without metal, without wheels, without writing, what else could they do? What else have we not yet found? The final mystery is not only in the ruins. It is in the silence of civilizations erased, the silence of knowledge buried, the silence of questions science still cannot answer. Were these civilizations guided by gods, by giants, by visitors from the stars? Or were they simply humans, like us, with knowledge we have forgotten? The truth remains hidden, buried in the sand, beneath the sea, under the jungle, waiting in the stones. 50 lost civilizations, 50 stories of greatness and mystery. Some fell to fire, some to water, some to silence, but all of them remind us of the same truth, that our world is not as young as we think, that history is deeper, darker, and far more mysterious than we dare to believe. And maybe the greatest mystery of all is this: if civilizations have risen and fallen before, what does that say about ours? Will our cities, our towers, our machines also fall one day? Will we too become only ruins, only questions for the people who come after us? The stones of Göbekli Tepe stand silent. The pyramids watch the stars. The jungles hide the voices of the Maya. The seas cover cities of the deep. And the earth keeps its secrets. For now they wait. For us to listen. For us to search. For us to wonder. Because the final mystery is not in the past alone. It is in the future. And the greatest question of all is whether we are ready to face it.